Just grinding up another coffee.
It's been nearly 2 months since Griffin opened Rome Bar and Lounge in downtown Davenport.
We see tons of people come down, a lot of repeat customers, a lot of new people every night.
But while he should be celebrating their success since their grand opening, customer traffic is about to hit a roadblock as Davenport crews close down River Drive and start to fill HESCO barriers. From the rising waters to a halt in traffic, Griffin now has a lot to worry about.
We are going to deliver the coffee.
Still,
You guys want some coffee?
despite being down on his luck this year,
Thank you.
he wants to give back, giving coffee to those protecting his new business from the rising Mississippi.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
These guys work so hard. Last night, there was almost nothing. Now, looks like we're ready for a flood.
I'm here at the control stand of Canadian Pacific Train 474. This is where the engineer sits. And today we get an exclusive inside look at the railroad's operations over the flooded tracks in Davenport. This CP train bound for Kansas City emerges from under the government bridge.
This is something that I've never seen before in my career.
The cars being pushed ahead into tracks on the Davenport floodplain from a critical dry area known as the Depression.
And in years gone by, this would have been underwater during the floods, but this year we've taken action to keep the depression open.
Sandbag barriers and 6 high-powered pumps working here at all times.
So now we're into what's called a true push-pull operation. We have to push the cars through without a locomotive going through the water. And then we have locomotives on the other side that will pull them out.
The railroad is also raising the tracks by as much as 20 inches in some places already to keep it running. CP senior management met Davenport Mayor Frank Klipsch and city staff Thursday to reassure them about their plans.
We had some folks from our engineering team so that we could talk about the technical details of what these crossings are going to look like when they're done.
The locomotive itself never crosses the deepest waters, decoupling here as the cars are pulled away from the other end, workers snapping into action to replace the sandbag wall.
It's something that you can't take your eye off of, and we aren't. We're just staying right on top of this.
A crew in a high-rail truck inspects the tracks for any problems. In these flooded conditions, they do this after every train, about a dozen times a day. So, of course, getting across those flooded tracks is an engineering feat in and of itself, something for the railroad to toot its horn about. But they say that it's important to them that they have a good relationship with the local communities where they live and work. In Davenport, Luke Clary, WQAD News 8.
We are back now with our breaking news coverage, team coverage in downtown Davenport tonight, where a levee breach has happened.
Jim, I have never seen a situation like this in downtown Davenport.
You're looking right now live from our News 8 drone. This is the area of Pershing.
This is where the floodwaters just swept up downtown Davenport within minutes.
As far as we know, that's just one breach. That's impacting this part of 2nd Street.
It came up so fast. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's terrifying.
The Half Nelson, it's a restaurant in downtown Davenport. This was actually supposed to be their opening day. So instead of opening his doors to customers, he's opening his doors to water.
You can see the water is just coming through the door no matter what you would do. You can see it piled up right here.
Workers and helpers trying to sandbag to create somewhat of a barrier.
Workers, everyone here is sandbagging, trying to get any single bit that they can of this water away.
And it is all hands on deck, just trying to get everyone to safety.
Our fire, public safety, all the people involved responded very quickly, evacuated those that needed that support.
If you're in need of assistance leaving the area, you're being asked to call 911.
So these are some Eldridge employees out here helping sandbag and lay down those bags for some people who can't quite do it themselves.
We're just trying to keep the water off the floor. If you want to come inside, we can go inside.
Okay. We're gonna try to go inside.
That's a floating freezer float. This is the first time it's ever been that bad.
They were able to hold it back for so long, but once the breach occurs, you can't unscoop that water.
No.
You just can't get it back into place.
They didn't know. They had no idea that something like this was going to happen. There was nothing that their sandbags or preparation could do.
I kind of was hoping with the new HESCO barriers and that we would be protected, but who would have thought, we would have got this much rain and this much water this fast.
Hey, dam is broke, get off the street.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I didn't know it was this bad.
2nd Street, in the heart of downtown, transformed.
What's floating over there? Is that?
Into an underwater junkyard.
Cars. Dumpsters.
Matthew Osborne saw it break from his new business he's scheduled to open on this very day.
I was standing on the back and saw it break and started seeing the water kind of starting to flush like in front of the wall, and then it started to come this way, and then the alley flushed.
The man-made levee broke, releasing the mighty Mississippi into the downtown streets. All Eric Fredericks saw
This is the worst flooding I've ever seen.
Was the aftermath. His apartment completely surrounded by waist-deep water.
How quickly? We keep saying within 10 minutes. It happened fast.
Far less than that. Yeah, if not like 2.
Emergency crews immediately jumping into evacuation boats, rescuing people stuck.
There were probably people in there earlier. The cars.
Making trip after trip in the 40-degree water.
That the people in them are brave to go out in the water.
They're most concerned about our safety.
And once everyone was safe on dry land, evacuation crews went back out, taking the stranded home to gather their belongings.
These are some things for the next couple of days, since I won't be able to be staying at home, obviously.
Picking up the floating pieces, not knowing what Mother Nature will throw at them next.
For Scott Leonard, today is about discovery.
We needed to get in our buildings today and just see.
Stepping inside for the first time since the breach,
Oh gosh.
employees at Great River Brewery are now seeing just what the Great River can do.
It's just completely overwhelming. I think we've all been in shock, but just seeing it is just, everything is floating. Walked around the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Our picnic tables are all floating. Walked inside and it's just amazing. There's kegs floating everywhere. There's just garbage cans, you name it, just floating everywhere.
Their product, their machines, their livelihood underwater.
Everything else that's in there and anything we had in tanks is a complete loss.
It's going to be a ton of work.
Crushing Scott's heart and soul, making him take things
A day at a time. It's pretty neat to see everyone not only volunteer, but everybody's in the same boat, you know. Our business just stopped and stopped operating. So, you know, it's like, where do you go from here? It's kind of it.
An unsettling question, but Scott is getting reassurance elsewhere.
It's the Quad Cities. This is just such a great place. A lot of support. A lot of love, too.
It's times like these that raise the question, do you think there should be a flood wall?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so we were actually just talking about this in class today.
All that damage and destruction, like that causes panic with people, and they can definitely jump to conclusions of things.
Cheryl Carlin, though.
For everybody that's been